I want to thank you first for coming. It's a little rough this year. We lost a lot of good people due to this COVID stuff. But thank you all for coming. It shows the appreciation that you have for the vets. Start off with the invocation. Pastor Troy Winder, Bettendorf Police Chaplain and Pastor, Bettendorf Presbyterian Church. Pastor.
Sure. Yeah, invite us to stand, please. And let us pray. Most gracious God, we come to you on this special occasion to remember those who have given their youth, their strength, and in some cases their lives for the freedom of this nation. In this moment, help us to properly honor those whom honor is due. Let us be reminded that we live in the land of the free because of the brave. Thank you for the women and men of our armed forces who have seen combat or worked in support, highly trained, ready to respond to any threat that would jeopardize our liberty. We thank you for their character forged by discipline, tempered by duty, and found faithful in the times of greatest stress. We thank you for their loyalty to our nation, their ongoing contributions to her values, and their compassion to her citizens. And now, as we open up this service, open up our hearts in appreciation. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order.
I want to go over a quick little deal about the Bettendorf Memorial right here. May 14th, 2002. Mr. Virgil Dillon, we know him as Bud. He's up right now with the firing squad. 2002, he actually went to the city council and said, hey, we'd like to have a memorial for the veterans. And they said, well, we got one down by the bridge. It's for the Korean and Vietnam. And Bud says, no, I want one for all the veterans. That was May 2002. December 11th, 2002, the Scott County Regional Authority, gambling boat people in Bettendorf here, support them strongly. They actually donated $32,000 to the Bettendorf Memorial to start it off with. 2003, June, was the ribbon cutting ceremony. So as you look up there now, the 5 pillars were filled up real quick, not quicker than we thought. We expanded the memorial to 13 pillars that we could put up. And that's in, well, 2004, 2002, when first the idea started, till now. So I think it's been a heck of a job for the veterans. The veterans have stepped forward. Thank you, guys. and girls. And the memorial.
Is it possible for people to give to the memorial to help it roll into perpetuity?
Yes, sir, it is.
Why don't we tell the crowd how they can help us with these pillars at Memorial Park?
All right.
Way to go, Woody.
Hey, no, thank you. There is a fund that we are collecting on. We have letters we'll hand out. But the money is being used to raise funds for the pillars. When we first started this, each pillar was $5,000. And that pillar was from, let's see, it was from it's American Black Granite from Pennsylvania. And the Hanson's Memorial up in DeWitt is the one that we go through. They're the ones that put the names on the pillars for us. Sometimes we put the names on it, it's lost to the committee. That's why we're trying to raise some funds. All right, now we're going to the remarks. John Whelan, commander of the VFW, will speak first. John?
Thank you, Woody.
All
I
yours.
appreciate it. Ladies, gentlemen, honored guests, friends, neighbors. For generations, the men and women of America's armed forces have demonstrated their willingness to put country before self. Patriots who serve for the greater good and who don't seek glory or recognition or personal gain. On November 11th, Veterans Day, our nation honors the contributions of the nearly 22 million veterans living today and all those who made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of liberty and justice. History has provided us with extraordinary examples of their selfless deeds. They brought hope, faith, and liberty to millions of people around the world. The true number of people who have benefited cannot be calculated, and the number of erected memorials or speeches delivered doesn't begin to represent the true scope of service our nation's veterans have provided.
Okay, I have the honor now of introducing Steve Satry, President of the Vietnam Vets of America, Chapter 776. Steve?
Thank you, Woody. On behalf of the Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 776, basically a Bettendorf chapter, I welcome you all, and more importantly, I thank you for coming and thank you for support of our veterans. I have a short poem here that was written by a 7th grade girl from Connecticut. This is about a man leaving to go to war. A man boarding a boat, waving to his wife, he may never see her again. This may be the end of his life. He feels the boat take off. He's headed on his way. His daughter starts to cry. Why did Daddy go away? His family is getting smaller. Now they look like ants. As they disappear, he gets one last glance. What is lying ahead for him? Will he live to tell the tale? As he approaches the dock, he hears a soldier's wail. War is horrible. It is death. Man killing his own brother. Is that what we're on earth for? Just to kill one another? This Benny is a veteran. He made it through it all. Although he lost an arm, he still stands strong and tall. He made it through the terror, thinking he would die. He made it through the killing and the late nights when he would cry. He made it through the missing his wife and family so. He made it through not being able to see his daughter grow. He sacrificed his life to protect the USA. He put himself in danger every single day. When it comes to protection, veterans are the key. This Benny is a hero. That's what a veteran means to me. That's quite a poem for a 7th grade student.
All right, Commander of the American Legion, Mr. Russ Scepter. Next up, please.
We're here today to honor Veterans Day. We have one day a year that's actually set aside for veterans. But you know, we as Americans should keep a spot in our heart for veterans every day of the week. every day of the year. And we should remember what veterans have done for us to help us maintain the American way of life. You know, all the veterans here, when we went to our first duty station, we went in one door as individuals. We took an oath that has no time limit on it. We put on American uniform. Didn't matter what color, what branch that uniform was. When we come out the other side, we were American soldiers. When we went to foreign lands, we didn't go as individuals. We went as American soldiers. We're always going to be American soldiers. I'd like to leave you with two thoughts. The first one is, the biggest disrespect you can have for an American veteran is to quit acting and quit remembering that we're Americans. The thing to uplift an American soldier is to start remembering and acting like American people.
Thank you all for being here. Thanks to the media who's here. Thank you to the Patriot Guard. Let's give them a nice round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen of the Guard, thank you. God bless and keep you all. If you're a veteran, can you please stand so we can recognize you? God bless you and thank you for your service. I've been asked to say a few words about a few important people that we lost recently. First is Larry Carlisle. Larry was a longtime friend and a fellow Bettendorf police officer. And we lost Larry recently as he passed away from cancer. And Jim Bowie has asked that we remember him today. Jim wrote a nice letter to the editor of the Quad City Times. Besides Bettendorf, Larry served with the LeClaire Police Department, enlisted for a 4th tour in the United States Air Force, and eventually retired after an extended service with the San Diego Police Department. He was fair and compassionate in his dealings with the public, but he never backed away from a fight. His sister Margaret drove back and forth from Rockford multiple times to help. Not that one. That's not the one that can fall. Thanks, guys. He passed November a year ago, and he's in our thoughts and prayers, as is his family. Wonderful people. And just last week, we lost a wonderful mother and father, grandmother and father, great friends. One of their kids is here today. Bob and Betty Washam passed just minutes from each other. Bob was the CV that was talked about, the road climbing CV who helped with the park. So God bless both of them and their families. And as we move forward, it's an honor and privilege to introduce our keynote speaker today, Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Garrington. Stephen Garrington is retired and involved in volunteer work. He is currently the Director of Honor Flight of the Quad Cities, a wonderful thing many of you are involved with. So thank you for those hours and lots of time you spent on such a great thing.
My commanding officer is with us today, my wife Linda, and she's told me many times to stand up to be seen, speak up to be heard, and sit down quickly to be appreciated. So I will try to keep my words somewhat short, because this is a great day, Veterans Day. Perhaps I've always thought we should call it Memory Day. On this day, our nation should stop to honor and remember. And we honor our veterans by remembering them. Often, what we remember best are the stories they've told. Veteran stories. The stories of them, the guys that fell in battle, as well as the ones who returned. And also those veterans who have, in the years since, joined their comrades. There are stories right here in the hearts and minds of those among us. This very ground on which we're standing right now really has stories about veterans to tell. Only 160 years ago, in this general area, farmers and shopkeepers, teachers and common laborers were training to become Union soldiers at a place called Camp McCullum, not very far from here. And when the war was over, and the Union restored, and the slaves freed, they came back home to Iowa. And they would lift a grandchild on their knee, and they would say, "I'm a veteran. I was part of the Grand Army of the Republic. Did I ever tell you about the time I..." Go on. Did you know that Lincoln actually referred to veterans in the Gettysburg Address? There's a line in there that says, "It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here, veterans, have thus so nobly advanced." That's from the Gettysburg Address. So let's jump to 1918, November 1918. 1 million soldiers from America had landed in France. And then the shooting stopped, November 11th at 11:11 a.m. And that day became known as Armistice Day. Armistice means you quit shooting, and that's what happened at 11:11. Well, the veterans headed home. And you know what? They had great stories to tell, including a young captain named Harry Truman. He had some good stories. They were a little peppery, but he had some good stories. There was a young kid that came back. His name was Walt Disney. And 100,000 Iowans who came back home who had their own stories to tell. They were veterans. And then more veterans came along. Veterans of World War II, and Korea, and Vietnam, the Cold War, Iraq, Afghanistan.
Aim! Fire! Ready! Aim! Fire!